Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for joining. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. So happy to have you listening in. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, we kind of talk about a lot of everything on here, with the hopes of talking about how to be the best versions of ourselves and how to live the best versions of our life and how to work on mental health and all the stuff and things related to that. So happy you're tuning in, whether you're here for the first time or whether you're back to listen to some more. Tonight, I wanted to chat about seizing opportunity when we have opportunity. And I got to thinking about this because we actually went on a little trip last weekend for like a long weekend. Went up to Lake Placid in New York and wanted to do some like wintry stuff up there, which we did get to do a lot of things. It was a great trip. But when we got up there, we found out about this toboggan chute that we didn't know about. It's like a local thing, and we found out about it. So we wanted to do that. We also found out about some like ice skating opportunities that we wanted to try out. So once we got up there, we're like, okay, yeah, let's put this on the agenda. But we didn't do it the first couple days we were there. The plan was to, go back and do it towards the end of the trip. So anyway, long story short, those things ended up closing down because the weather actually warmed up, and they're winter activities, obviously. And once the ice started to get slushy, the people that ran the stuff decided that it needed to be closed down, which is completely fine and understandable. But the reason that it kind of triggered this thought in my brain is because I said to the people we were traveling with, I was like, this just goes to show you, you should do things when you have the opportunity to do them. Because I had thought the first day we figured out these things were available, I was like, oh, we should just jump on it and we should do it tonight, because we knew it was going to be potentially warming up, and we, didn't really know what that would mean for the activities. And there was a part of me that's like, we should just go ahead and we should jump on this and we should do it. But we didn't. We said, oh, no, it's fine. We'll do it in a few days. And then we missed the opportunity to do those things. And of course, this is just an example of something that triggered the thought process in my mind regarding this. Obviously, missing out on doing the toboggan chute is not the end of the world, obviously, but it's a little example that in my head I extrapolate out to far more important things and far bigger things in life. And the theory and the thought still applies. When you have the opportunity to do something, you should seize that opportunity. And when you have the chance to experience something, you should seize the opportunity to experience it. Because you never know when that opportunity will no longer be available. And you never know when is going to be your last chance at doing something or trying something or seeing something or seeing someone. So we tend to, I think a lot of times we tend to very much in our heads and out loud say, okay, we'll do that someday. We'll do that one day. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll get to that one day. And I'm here to just kind of challenge us to, obviously you can't do everything you can't do everything in a lifetime in one day or even 1 week or even 1 year. So obviously some things have to be postponed. Obviously we have to plan and we have to wait to experience certain things or another. So obviously common sense applies here, but I think we have a tendency, because like we've talked about on this podcast before, it's very easy to get comfortable in life. It's very easy to get kind of settled in our routines. Like, we know our brain and our mind really likes to be in the comfort zone. It likes to do the things that it feels is familiar, because there's comfort and safety in familiar when you're thinking about the animal brain and how the brain works. There's a lot of comfort in sticking to things and to routines that feel familiar to us, because the brain equates that with the safety factor. So I think we have the tendency sometimes, because we don't want to push our comforts, our comfort zones. We don't want to do something that feels intimidating or potentially scary to us. Potentially we don't want to take the risk on something, whether it be financially or whether it be, another kind of risk. We just get kind of settled in our ways, and sometimes I think we make excuses in our head about why we can't do something, or why we should wait to do something, or why we shouldn't pursue that thing right now. And we just kick the can down the road saying, I'll get to it one day. And I'm just here to challenge us all about that, about living in that headspace, because unfortunately, we don't know, none of us know when our hourglass runs out, right? Like, nobody knows when our time here is over. Like, nobody knows the answer to that. But it is a certain fact and a certain reality that with each passing day, we lose a little bit of sand from our hourglass. So with each passing day, we have less time. We still don't know how much time we have, but we know we have less time. And that shouldn't make us depressed or sad. What it should do is it should make us want to seize every opportunity and seize every moment that we can to experience everything that we can. For all of us, for every situation, for every single one of us, there is going to be a last time. There is going to be a last chance. There's going to be a last opportunity. Everything we do in life, every person we interact with in life, every experience we live in life, there will be a last time of those things. Like, there will be the last time you get the opportunity to do XYZ. There will be the last time you get to see person XYZ. There will be a last time you get to, experience XYZ, and insert whatever into those algorithms you want. But the certainty is that there will be a last time for everything in life, and a last opportunity for everything in life. I think about this a lot with my horses. If you've tuned in here before, I have horses. If you haven't, I have horses that I compete on around the country. And I had one get very sick and actually had to have surgery last year. And, I think about that. I think about that every time I ride my horse and send them down the alleyway. We say that in barrel racing all the time. you only have so many runs on a horse. And again, it's like you don't know when the hourglass is going to run out. Like you don't know when the last time will be, but it is a certain absolute reality that there will be a last time. Like there is going to be a barrel run or a run that we make on the barrel pattern that will be the last time we do it. And because we don't know when that is going to happen, like we don't know when the last time is going to be, again, it shouldn't make you sad. It shouldn't put you into a tailspin of depression. Instead, again, I challenge all of us to go the other way with it, to lean into that, to lean into being aware of that. And then because we are aware of that, just soaking it up for every ounce that it's worth. And, I try to do that with my horses. Like every time I make a run on them, I try to just really be so present in that moment and just experience it and appreciate it and be grateful for it and, just live it completely, because I know there's always a chance that could be the last time, the last opportunity, to send them down the alleyway. And I was almost in that predicament, or I was almost in that spot last year when my one horse had to have her surgery. I didn't know that she would ever be okay again. I didn't know if she would ever race again. I didn't know if I would ever ride her again. And fortunately, even though it was obviously still a tough experience, and obviously I was heartbroken, and obviously I was grieving and upset, the one thing I didn't have to deal with was feeling regret that I didn't soak up the experience more or soak up the experience in a better way. Because fortunately, I do try to look at life through this lens, and, every run I had made on her, before that surgery happened, I felt like I lived it and appreciated it and loved it and experienced it for all I could. And so I didn't have that regret, on top of all the other stuff going on. I didn't have that regret of, man, I should have done this, or I should have done that, or I wasted that opportunity, or I didn't take advantage of that experience, or I didn't appreciate it when I had it, and I didn't take it for granted. I didn't have any of those thoughts. And that's kind of my challenge for all of you out there, because that's what I want for anyone out there who's listening. That's what I want for you, is to live your life in a way that you don't have regrets, that you don't look back and think, should have, would have, could have. I mean, yes, we're going to look back on our life and we're going to think, oh, I didn't make the right decision there, or, oh, I should have, maybe taken a different path there because now I have different information and now I know better. And, like you can reflect back on your life and learn lessons, from the things you did or didn't do. And obviously that's okay. And that's healthy. And that I think is different than what I'm talking about, which is looking back on your life and having regrets because you wanted to do something, or you had the opportunity to do something that you kind of wanted to do, and you didn't take advantage of it. You didn't seize it, or if you did, you didn't experience it to the fullest of your capability. And now you look back on that thing and you feel like you should have done something different. As I've mentioned on here before, I work in healthcare. I have for many years. I work in mostly trauma and critical care. So, and And have seen a lot of tragedy working in those fields. And I've seen a lot of people who have their lives turned upside down overnight, and families who have their entire worlds turned upside down overnight. And a lot of sadness. I mean, obviously. And it was hard for me in the beginning to cope with all that. I wasn't really sure how to cope with it. It contributed to a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. And I struggled with it for a while. But what I figured out is kind of exactly, hopefully, the message I'm accurately trying to relay and articulate to you now. Turn into it, lean into it, and say, you know what? Yeah, like, I have a healthy awareness of how fragile life is and how quickly things can change. So instead of walking around with a constant sadness about that, instead, I'm going to go the other way, and I'm going to say, you know what? I know what can change. I know how it can change. I know how fragile it is. And because of that, I'm going to live every moment and seize every opportunity and go after every experience because I have the opportunity to do so. And so many other people don't. And that's how I try to live my life. And a lot of that has been shaped by seeing, so much tragedy up close and personal and just having this really, really hardcore awareness of how quickly everything, around us can be different. And this really profound awareness of how everything is limited. Like, there's a last chance for everything. There's a last opportunity for everything. The hourglass runs out for all of us. Like, for every experience, for every opportunity, there is an end game. So take advantage of everything you can take advantage of. Every experience, every opportunity, every chance to do something that you want to do, to be who you want to be, like, seize those opportunities. Don't push them off until tomorrow, because, the chance just may not be there tomorrow. And I don't want you to miss out on anything. So that is my talk today. Whether it is a lighthearted, want to go toboggan, like on a toboggan chute in Lake Placid, or whether it is something really profound and big in life, the message is still the same. Just when you have the opportunities, take them, because you may not get them again. And life is meant to be lived. So, chase the dream, take the risk, make the trip, take the chance. I hope that speaks to someone out there, and seize the day today and tomorrow and the rest of the week, and then tune back in next week to talk some more. And if you think anyone out there that might like this podcast, please share it. I'd really appreciate that. That would mean the world. All right, thanks guys. I hope you have a great rest of the night, and talk again soon. Bye.